call it the world's most expensive mask, and others call it the world's most effective mask. Where there's smoke, there's a fire. I'm Cecile Null, reporting on behalf of the viral sector.
So with me in the studio, we have Stefan Pretorius, CEO of VaniqueExports.com and global distributor of AOP.
It's AOP, and you make very bold statements or very bold claims. But before we get into the detail, just give us a summary.
Hi, Cecile, thank you very much for having me. I truly believe that this is a game changer. It's the world's first mask that can be worn for 7 days. It will disinfect itself for 7 days. It'll basically eliminate or kill any virus or bacteria, up to 99% of viruses, for a period of 7 days.
Some say that it's the world's most expensive mask. How do you feel about that statement?
Yes, it's slightly more expensive than your ordinary mask, but it can be worn for 7 days. The normal mask can only be worn for 8 hours, which means that you need to discard of that mask within 8 hours or after 8 hours and then replace it on a daily basis. So considering that you don't need to buy 7 masks, I don't think that this is expensive at all.
So what about the fact that it's referred to the most effective mask?
Well, I believe it's the most effective mask. If I can give you a product out there that would eliminate 99.9% of viruses and bacteria, then yes, I believe it's an effective product.
So you are saying that it eliminates 99.9% of all viruses. That's also a very bold statement to make. Can you actually prove this?
Yes, I agree with you when you say it's a bold statement. 100%. Yes, it's a bold statement. Fortunately, we can actually prove that. We've had the labs test. We've had it submitted to numerous tests to say, please test this and test it over and over for a period of 7 days continuously. So these masks were actually tested at 8 hours per day, bombarded with bacteria and viruses, and it self-sterilizes. After 7 days, the mask still remains virus and bacteria free. And yes, we do have the lab reports to prove that.
But doesn't all masks kill viruses and bacteria?
Well, it's just that's the perception that we all have out there. So we are told in this new normal that we're currently living in, we are told to wear a mask, which has become the new normal. But that mask will not kill the virus, nor will it kill the bacteria that's on the virus. As a matter of fact, if you are in a contaminated environment and your mask is contaminated with a virus or some bacteria, it immediately becomes a breeding ground for that bacteria. So by the time you go home, you're literally transporting this virus with you. It's going home.
You are actually saying that I can transport or take the virus home with me?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
With a normal mask. Okay, so that is what makes AOP such a phenomenal product. If you're in a contaminated area and the mask is contaminated with a virus or a bacteria, the mask will automatically eliminate it. It will kill the bacteria or the virus that's gone onto that mask.
So you're actually saying that it's also the safest mask to use for us?
Well, in my opinion,
I won't transport the virus home with me or anywhere else for that matter.
In my opinion, okay, it's probably the safest product out there to use. Especially if it's going to eliminate the threat. That's the part you don't want to take home with you.
So I assume you also supply to hospitals and to all the frontline workers.
Well, in reality, that's where this mask belongs. It belongs in the front line. It belongs within hospitals. Unfortunately, the bureaucracy within the corporate environment makes it difficult to get the product there. Now, if it's not the world famous brands, then they don't want to look at it, irrespective of what the data shows, irrespective of what the proof is, irrespective of the fact that it can actually stop so much people getting infected. Okay. There's so much bureaucracy out there that it's really difficult to get it into those markets. However, people like dentists are currently using these products because a dentist is in your face. I mean, the space between the dentist and the patient is so small that the chances of infection is great. Dentists are very keen on these products and they use them because they know the chances of them getting this virus is much greater than in public.
Well, earlier we spoke and you mentioned that you also want to get it into old age homes. Why old age homes specifically?
Cecile, when you speak about old age homes, I mean, we can have this discussion for days on end. If anybody had to ask me, if they say, okay, how many of these masks are available? And I say, well, we've got 1 million. And they say, okay, brilliant. So where should we send them? I would say, to old age homes. Every single one of them. I truly believe with everything that I have that this product belongs within an old age home or a care facility. I'll take an example. My dad's 85. If I had to go to my dad in the old age home and say, hey Dad, you know the new normal, we all need to wear a face mask, and give him a face mask and then try and give him the instructions. Now, don't take my word about the instructions. Read it on every other box that you can see. If you buy a mask out there, take the box, read the instructions. It says, when you dispose of the mask, take it by the earlobes, remove it, and discard without touching the mask. Why would they say that? Because the mask, it is contaminated. It could be contaminated.
So this mask, it kills viruses inside and on the inside and on the outside of the mask.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to take it by the earlobes.
You don't have to. That's the point I was trying to make about my dad. So now, if I had to give my dad these instructions on how to remove the disposable face mask so that he can't get contaminated, by the time I leave the door, he's forgotten what I've told him. In an old age home, I can provide my parents with a mask like this and say, Dad, it's not important where you put it down, whether you put it on a contaminated surface or whether you by accident swap it with the old lady in the room next door when you went for a visit. Okay, it wouldn't make a difference. Each one of these masks will continuously disinfect itself. Which means that the spread of the infection within an old age home could come down to a minimal. Okay. And isn't that what we want? Those are the most vulnerable people.
The fragile people.
The fragile. You're right when you say that. Those are the people who are currently passing away constantly. So they say, oh, you're older than 65 and you've tested positive.
And this would actually be great for all your immune suppressed people as well.
Exactly.
HIV. Diabetes, all of that.
Exactly. So once we start looking into the African market and the African continent, that's a major problem.
That's your big target.
Yes. So on the African side, you look at people who are HIV positive. I mean, South Africa has a massive HIV pandemic in its own. So now we have an HIV pandemic followed by a viral pandemic, which the two combined. If there's anybody who needs to jump in and say, how do we fight this virus, is by finding the right tools. This is the right tool. This is the tool where we can go and say, guys, we cannot stop this virus from spreading, but we can eliminate as much as possible from people getting infected. And that's what this product's made for.
So, Stefan, what's next for you? Where do you want to launch it next? When do you want to launch it?
Well, I think right now our direct focus is the USA. So we're currently looking at providing these to old age homes in the United States. We will obviously be looking at distributors for United States. We do have a representative of which the contact details are on our website. So if anybody needs to get hold of our representative in America, the contact details are available. I also think that once again, old age homes. So even in America, that's the focus. Old age homes. In Europe, especially the UK, for example, the UK are very, very set at looking after the elderly. That's where we're going in the UK. Old age homes. That's our focus. Yes, we could probably have some some doctors and hospitals and nurses who'd say, you know, I also feel that I need the protection.
Especially your frontline workers. I mean, those are the people in the front line every single day. You want to protect them as well, and their families.
Yes,
Most important as well.
very important. But I'm still passionate
Old age homes.
about the old age homes. Absolutely.
Are you currently looking for distributors, Stefan? And if you are, how can people get a hold of you?
We are looking for distributors. We are already distributing in certain countries, but currently we're looking for the global distribution, which I think is quite important. So if you go to our website, we actually have country representatives. Like for the USA, we've got Mercer. Anybody in the USA can get hold of Mercer and inquire about a distribution contract for their area or the state that they live in. We currently have Emma, who's responsible for Europe. So if you're in Europe and you're looking to distribute our products, get hold of Emma. Similar for Australia. And then obviously in South Africa, we've got Infodoc Health, who are already distributing in the South African and African market. But visit our website. There you'll be able to get hold of the company. You'll also be able to get hold of me. My contact details are on there as well. And yes, we'd like to see this go global, and we'd like to see it go global as quick as possible.